Hi everyone. I wanted to clarify a concept regarding depreciation, and it's something that can be confusing when we first get into it, and I think we can clear it up with a simple example. One of the things that can be confusing about depreciation is we tend to want to think of that as referring to the market value of an asset. So the declining market value. Um, when we think of depreciation, and that's not actually what we're doing. So the typical example that somebody thinks of with depreciation is when you drive a new car off the lot and somebody tells you, it's worth $3,000 less the minute you drive it off the lot. Well, that's referring to the market value. In other words, if you go to resell that, you're probably only going to get $3,000 less than what you paid for it. But when we talk about depreciation, what we're actually doing is allocating the cost of the asset over the useful life. So let me just show an example of this, and we'll see that market value does play a small part in it, but it's really not what we're referring to when we talk about depreciating an asset. So let's use an example of a pickup truck that we're going to use for our business. And one of the first things that we do, well, first of all, we purchased the pickup for $13,000. Um, so our purchase price is $13,000, which also means that the market value is $13,000, or at least approximate. We can't necessarily know for sure exactly what the market value is of a pickup because it can fluctuate depending on location and the type of pickup and those kind of things. Um, but pretty much we know right now that the purchase price was 13,000, and we can estimate that the market value is about 13,000. And I just want to track these two side by side so you can see that we're really not referring to market value. So our book value, in other words, we're going to record the asset in our books at $13,000 because that's what we paid for it, and we're going to record that. The accounting term that we use is the historical cost. So we're going to record it at $13,000. And the next thing we do is we're going to determine how long we anticipate using the asset and how much we think we will be able to get out of it when we sell it or when we're done with it, whatever we would do with that. So in this case, we're making an educated guess that we're going to use the asset for 5 years. And we're guessing that at the end of that 5 years, with all the wear and tear and the aging, that we're going to be able to sell that for about $3,000. So we're setting the salvage value at $3,000. And the reason we come up with the salvage value is because we're actually trying to figure out what's our real cost of this pickup truck. Because the real cost of the pickup truck is not $13,000. The real cost is the purchase price minus the salvage value. Now, if you wanted to get technical, you could bring in the time value of money, but we're not going to do that for simple depreciation. So the salvage value is money that we're getting back at the end of the process. And so the real cost in this case is $10,000 because we're going to pay 13 and then we're going to get 3,000 at the end of the 5 years. So when we depreciate this, what we're really doing is allocating that $10,000 cost over the life of the 5 years that we're going to use it. So we're going to depreciate, if we're going to, just for a simple example, we're going to use straight line depreciation, which means we're going to take the $10,000 actual real cost to us, and we're going to allocate that over the 5 years that we're going to use it. So in this case, obviously that would be $2,000 per year. So at the end of the first year, we're depreciating the book value from 13,000. We're going to depreciate it 2,000, which means our book value now is 11,000. So what I wanted to show you is how does that compare to the market value 1 year later? Well, we don't really know what the market value is. The market value may be 11,000. It may be 12. It may be 10. And we're not terribly concerned about that because what we're estimating is that at the end of the 5 years, the market value is going to be around $3,000. And when we sell that at the end of the 5 years, or if let's say something happened and we decided after 4 years, maybe we got a good deal on another pickup, and so we're going to quit after 4 years. Whatever that book value is, so it would go from 11 to 9 to 7. At the end of the 4 years, it would be 5,000. Whatever we sell that at, which is what the market value is, if it's not $5,000 at that point, or here, if it's not $3,000, then we're going to make an adjusting entry, an adjustment, not an adjusting entry, that is going to show the difference in the price there. So what we're really doing is we're not tracking the market value. We're really allocating, in other words, spreading out that cost. Instead of putting the entire cost in year one when we purchase it, that's not really how we want to record that, because we're getting 5 years worth of use out of it. So we want to spread the cost over the 5 years. And obviously we don't always do it in a straight line. You've learned some other methods of depreciation. But we do want to spread that cost out over the useful life. So that's really what we're doing with depreciation. Hope that's helpful, and you can let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.